Hi there. Okay, Leo, this is going to be your reading for March the 23rd to the 29th. But as I say in all the readings, time is fluid, so wherever you find yourself on the timeline is exactly when you perhaps needed to hear this message. And if for any reason it doesn't resonate, I do want to encourage everyone to go and check out their other zodiac natal placements, okay? You might find more value in your rising sign, your moon sign, or your Venus sign. So this is going to be the weekly reading for Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Let's check out the theme, Leo. Envy, okay. What side of the envy card are you on? There's a lot of, and this card, even though I intuitively interpret each card, depending on what I'm picking up on, so I feel like this yellow solar plexus chakra energy is strong in you, Leo. I feel like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe even going back as far as 9 months has been a journey for you in really getting to the base of your fears. The stuff that has held you back from ultimately feeling genuinely empowered and standing in yourself. Look, I might be speaking to Leos here that are truly standing in a whole new chapter where they're surrounded by envy because they're genuinely making progress and not holding themselves back. I could also be talking to Leos that are on the other side of that and they're seeing other people go ahead and exceed their previously set goals and wondering, God, I wish I could do it like them. Envy is an interesting energy, Leo, and I always like to talk when it comes to our emotional body and dealing with our shadow self and our ego aspects, which, are all essential in the journey that we find ourselves on in learning about ourselves more deeply. Envy and jealousy is a low vibrational energy, sure, but it is a wisdom teacher nonetheless. So, like I say about the energy of anger, no lower vibrational energy, emotional energy is necessarily bad if it pushes us outside of a comfort zone. If you're feeling envious, Leo, why? What are you going to do about it? Is it because someone has done something that you wished you had? Is it if others are envious of you, are you going to stop shining that beautiful light? You are the epitome of confidence at your core. That is the core of who you are. You are brave, you are fierce, you are all of that rich solar plexus yellow. All right, I feel like I'm speaking to perhaps mostly Leos that are surrounded by envy. No, you're not, all right? I am the same as everybody, but I deal with different challenges. Leo, you might be finding yourself at this time being okay in amongst a lot of, it goes without saying there's a lot of unprecedented changes going on in our world. You might find yourself in a situation where you are financially okay and others aren't. You might be dealing with challenges that others aren't too. It can go either way, but let's take a look and see what the tarot might want to tell us a little bit more. But for the most part, as far as a theme goes, when it comes to envy, let it be a teacher rather than an experience or an existence. There's no point being like anyone else. We are here uniquely as individuals to share our own special light with the world. Let's finish that there. The sun. I think I'm talking to Leos that are ultimately glowing right now. You are really empowered and standing in your power. You are stepping out, putting yourself out there. With the new moon in Aries coming up, we are invited to really embrace that warrior-like Martian energy. Whenever I say Martian, I feel like I'm talking about little aliens, but that Mars energy is very much about this look, Aries, this is going to be this new moon. So the Emperor is ruled by Aries. This new moon season, you're really stepping into your power. At any rate, you're feeling like you are coming more into control, okay? Over a situation where you felt like you probably couldn't perhaps navigate your circumstances. I do feel strongly that there is this new chapter around you at the moment, Leo. This could definitely be to do with work, money, finances, a connection, a marriage, a commitment within a relationship that ultimately is something tangible. Okay, there's a few themes going on here. I feel like this is someone really intellectualizing their creativity. So, are you a business owner, Leo? Are you stepping into a higher role at work? Obviously when the Ace of Pentacles shows up at the base of your reading like this, underneath all this is really about that nest egg, that sure thing. This is something solid that you can hold, and I do feel in many ways it's because you have patiently waited for fortune to turn in your favor, for circumstances to turn in your favor. You took a risk, okay? What crowns you right now is the Fool energy. So coupled with the Wheel of Fortune and the Sun card, okay, we've got a powerful story here, Leo. There's, straight off the bat, you've got 3 major arcana cards, okay? Solid foundations with the 4 of Wands. You could very well have just decided to purchase property or realize that you're coming into the position where you're able to take that next level up in your life where it comes to buying major purchases and investments. When the Sun card shows up, this is strong clarity. We're not working with the moonlight. There is recognition and clear sight and recognition from VIPs, being seen in all your glory. This is you in your element, Leo. The Sun card is ultimately, it is for you, it is about you. You are the sun, you are the solar plexus. This could be, for some, this could be about the birth of a child, okay? Home, hearth, family. The 2 eyes, the 4 walls, the 2 arms that you call home, setting up foundations. This is also the 1111 card. This might be a connection that feels spiritual in nature. This might be, if that's not a connection that you're having with another, it could be one that you are having with yourself, okay? You feel like you are at the precipice of change, Leo, that you know that you're on a good thing. The reason I talk about the beginnings of a relationship, when I see the 8 of Wands, it's obviously the Cupid card, the falling in love card, but at any rate, energy moving very quickly and progression is here. I feel like there was an indecisive period where you were 1 foot in, 2 steps back, perhaps, Leo, where life, perhaps, like I was talking about a time frame of the last 9 months when I saw the MB card. The last 7 to 9 months. If you go back, press rewind. Where are we now? We're in March, so go all the way back to August. These were vital stepping stones and lessons and learnings about what is valuable, okay? Feeling a little bit overwhelmed with, I need to do this, so I'm just going to get this because it's going to pay the bills, is what I'm intuitively picking up on here for some. This definitely might be, back then it might have been a time where you were choosing between several different dating options. For those Leos that might be finding themselves settling down into permanency in a connection that's shifting up to that next level of commitment, okay? So rewind back to August, September, October. There's lessons here that you've learnt, really, but let's just focus on the theme as an example, okay? So I think for many Leos that I'm talking to, if envy is an energy that's being directed at you, people don't understand the journey that you've been on for the last, however long it has been. It could be longer than the last 7 to 9 months, Leo. You and you alone have got yourself here. You took a risk, okay? You chose to start again. And if you haven't, that energy is definitely here and present for a lot of us, for a lot of Leos that are listening to this. This is very much the energy that we're all in at the moment. We're in this collectively. There's great change here. And how we deal with that, you know, is very much represented by the Fool. Some of us might think it's foolish to take a risk because we don't know if we're going to fall and land on rocky ground, or do we feel optimistic like he does there? He doesn't want to care in the world. He'll just take what he has, and he's willing to just step forward, you know, step forward into risk and opportunity. This is where you are, or where you've definitely come from. I feel I'm talking to two different Leos here that have surpassed that fear of the envy of others, that have actually fueled that energy of envy perhaps previously, and seeing how others have been doing things and seeing how others progressed in their career, or whatever the case may be, Leo, you know. I can apply that many different ways. And you know what? If you have come from a place where you were sort of looking at others in envy, looking at yourself and your choices in frustration, wondering, you know what, I wish I had that too. I feel I'm talking to Leos that just went out and took accountability, because that's all envy is. The only recipe that is missing that can switch envy to, you know, to having. So in envy, we're perhaps looking at ourselves as a have-not. So how do we switch from have-not to have? Accountability. Take accountability and make a choice. Why sit back in a lower vibration wondering, oh, I wish I had that too? Well, if you really wanted, you would go and get it, okay? It's why there's that saying, you know, it's what other people do is none of our business. It's not our business what others are doing. So I feel like I'm talking to some Leos here that perhaps were in this vibration 7-9 months ago and decided to take life by the horns and just make it for what, you know, for what they wanted it to be. And here you are, celebrating success, you know, strong clarity. This is fertile. Fertility. Times have changed, you know. So I feel like I'm speaking to a lot of Leos that August is significant. Maybe in your birthday last year was a little, what do I want to do from here on in? Okay. There might also have been a special connection that was formed around that time too, Leo. I feel like you are feeling very much like you are the emperor of your kingdom, the ruler of your kingdom, that you are in control of things. You might be dealing with an Aries, okay? There's a 2-year story here, Leo. I'm not picking up on fear per se for a small percentage of you. I do feel like I do need to talk about that element of the Two of Swords. I feel like I need to say to you, don't let the past hold you back. Okay, this is real. Like, I think if you're doubting your security, if you're doubting this relationship, if you're doubting your sudden windfall and abundance that you've got going on right now after, let's face it, a chapter of some deep learning and clarity, I feel there's been an overall a 2-year story, okay? And if that doesn't apply to you, look, that's anywhere on the timeline. That 2-year story might be kicking off now, okay? So don't let the fears hold you back, because there's a lot that you can actually achieve. Because I think for the ones that I'm talking about that are worried about loss, this is where this applies. You really do have to let go the financial losses, the losses of connections, the fear of loss, okay? There is a fear of loss. You know, the only reason any of us have trust issues, we are afraid to open up our heart to new love connections. We are afraid to put ourselves out there and go for that perfect job or study that degree so that we can really level up and kick those goals and achieve those dreams. The only thing that truly holds us back is not envy. It's a fear of success. It's a fear of repeating losses. But you know what? When it comes to a new connection, even though you've loved and lost before, even though you've perhaps lost positions and careers have taken a bit of a back dive sometimes, even if you have lost before, Leo, that doesn't mean that this exact situation that you're experiencing right now is anything you've ever had. You know, even connections, it's perhaps a new person. You are a new person. It's a new career, it's a new job. You can apply that to anything. And I think it's almost comical if we look at it like this. it's almost mainstream to fear loss, to God, what if this doesn't work out? What if this happens? You know, but you know what? That is almost, it is exactly actually, it is just as silly as me going out shopping like I've just won Gold Lotto, like I've just won the lotto. That's silly. That just doesn't make sense. You wouldn't do that, Leo. You wouldn't go out and start spending up big and, you know, yep, just writing checks for money you do not have. So don't fear losses that are not here. Okay, if you're wondering that this, and I feel like I'm speaking to select Leos here, if you're wondering if this good thing is going to fall down, this connection, this opportunity, this new chapter in your life where you're feeling like everything has finally come together, because I think there's some deep lessons here in life, in self and love for the Leos that I'm talking to. You've learned some big relationship lessons here. There's clarity. Something has shifted and changed. And if I get stuck wondering, am I going to lose this thing that I've got? God, go away, fly. It's in my face. If I'm stuck wondering if I'm going to lose this amazing thing that I've got, this connection, this opportunity, this new way of feeling about myself and life, then I'm investing time on something that isn't real. But what you have is tangible. This is real. This is your real, Leo. This is real. It's here. You know? So bask in it. Go and sunbathe in the successes that you have achieved and where your life is at the moment. Okay? Turn your face to the sun. Let's talk about sun energy and solar plexus. See the sunflowers in the background? When the sun goes down or it's a little bit cloudy, the sunflowers, they turn to each other, you know? They turn to their loved ones, their neighbours, they look out for each other, which is a pertinent message at this time for a lot of us, collectively, Leo. The sun, your solar plexus, your third chakra, is your life force, okay? It sits in our gut. It's where we feel anxiety and the opposite feeling, okay? It's where we feel genuinely prideful and proud of ourselves. It is our life force, just like the sun is for this world. Be that for yourself first. Allow your sun to shine. Allow it to flood your entire body and being. Allow that sun within to flood your entire life. Trust that that energy is nurturing, that whatever you're experiencing right now, this connection and how you feel about this person, about your life, about yourself, about the circumstances and benefits you find yourself enjoying, bask in it. Allow that to warm you, you know? There's something deep here for a couple of Leos that I'm talking to. And if others are envious, you know, trust that they will find their own path too. That it's simply just a sign that you are shining. Because what happens when someone is too full of light? If someone shines too brightly, psychologically, what does a deer in a headlight do? Fight, flight, or freeze. You're either shocked by someone's gregarious Leonian success. Their confidence might frighten some people, and when I say frighten, it's this envy energy, this fear energy, okay? Because it's not love. They're frightened of it, so they step back. And others just won't get you because you shine too bright. Because confidence is not a common thing per se, you know, out there. We're very, you know, human beings are very humble, and that's something more to do with people that put themselves out there on a stage or on TV or whatever the case may be. But your personality, Leo, and you've had this probably your whole life, you just walk into a room and that is the energy. You are the sun. You are confidence plus. Allow yourself to bask and be that. Because I think there are many others that need that warmth right now. And perhaps this is just a funny way of them saying they admire you, they need you, okay? and they will find their way. And if this is you, Leo, well, learn from those other Leos that have channeled that and made it work for them and really turn envy into empowerment. Okay? The outcome here is the Queen of Swords. I think in many ways, Leos, you're getting clear on the path you've taken, the choices you've made, where you're going in this connection, this new venture, this experience. There's a lot of communication. And if you are dealing with a fire sign, I think you're intellectualizing a lot of things, and you're being very, you're presenting yourself intelligently and clear with your boundaries. They know that you won't put up with shit, so to speak. You know, that you've been through enough. You're very clear on who you are and what you want. I think August is significant for a couple of Leos that I'm speaking to here. You are building something into August, okay? This chapter certainly does perhaps link in to August last year for others. Okay, Leo? Like I said, Ace of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. The Moon, trust your intuition, okay? I do see this fear might have a risk of doubling into something where you're perhaps completely embracing this energy. And that's great, because this is applicable at times when we need to be logical and we need to not keep trusting someone that's let us down before, that sort of thing, okay? But what I actually want you to connect into is this. The wheel is shifting, okay? This is fertility, clarity. You know, okay? You know it up here logically with the Queen of Swords. You know it in here at your solar plexus. There's definitely some news in regards to love and wanting to move forward, to continue moving forward, and to build some practical foundations, a future. Those 4 walls I talked about, moving in together perhaps for some, committing. The energy, I know this is a weekly reading, but I'm talking to a Leo that's ultimately working towards manifestation and embracing all elements of themselves, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, just because they're queens, okay? Queen of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, okay? There's a lot of fire, logic, practical applications to you right now. You are building some, and you are working together. It's a coming together to build lasting foundations. This is a career move for many. All right, you're working with some strong manifestation energy. And you know what? Underneath the light of the sun, all you need to do is water and fertilize and be patient. Watch what you can achieve by August. I'm speaking to someone in particular out there. Really embrace that energy, because I feel like you're working with some strong manifestation energy when it comes to the ideal career, ideal financial position, the perfect relationship. And I know relationships aren't perfect, but you've learnt your lessons. You've learnt, and this could even be family connections, Leo, all right? You're wanting everything to come together. You've learnt a lot from the last 9 months. I'm not saying you haven't learnt a lot your whole life, but the last 9 months have been key. And what you're building now into August, into your next solar return, into your next birthday, you're already, there's long-term planning here, I feel. Okay, I could go all day. The tarot will just keep telling the story there. I hope this has helped somewhat, Leo. I hope you found some confirmation and resonance. If so, leave a comment below. Otherwise, go check out your other zodiac placements for your natal chart, which is in the link below. Thanks, guys. See you next time.